It's Jamie. Welcome back to the channel. That video you just saw was a part of a series of videos my wife and I tried to take when we were in Ireland celebrating our 5-year anniversary. One of us got the idea to try to jump into each other's arms and catch each other and try to get that on video. And we were just doing it on our cell phones, and we laughed a lot. We failed a lot, as you can see from that video. But it was an absolute blast doing that. And our trip to Ireland is something that we had saved for 5 years. It was our 5-year anniversary. Which brings me into today's topic, which is all about sinking funds explained. In this video, I'm going to walk you through what sinking funds are, how to set up your own sinking funds, and how we use sinking funds within our budget, how we paid for our 5-year anniversary trip to Ireland with cash. So we didn't put on a credit card. We didn't have to go into debt or take out a loan or anything like that. Over 5 years, we saved up slowly using our sinking funds and paid for that trip 100% cash and just got to have an absolute blast. But before we watch into the video about sinking funds today, I want to take a quick second to ask you to hit subscribe if you're not already subscribed to the channel. Tap that little bell so you get notified every time I post a new video. I make videos full of tips on how to budget, save money, and get yourself out of debt and take awesome vacations like we did to Ireland last summer. So first up, what are sinking funds? Sinking funds, I feel like, is one of those fancy money financial terms that gets thrown around, but it took me an actual long time to figure out what sinking funds were and how you can use them to save for big goals and big dreams that you have in your budget over time, taking small steps to do so. So again, what is a sinking fund? A sinking fund is simply a savings goal that you contribute money every single month for really consistently to build up to a larger amount of money. So for example, our trip to Ireland, we wanted to do that for 5 years, our 5-year anniversary. We knew that we wanted to go on a big trip, but we also didn't want to be a couple that said we were going to go on this big trip, and then when it got 5 years later, we didn't actually go on it. We wanted to make sure we had a plan so we could make our dream 5-year anniversary trip to Ireland a reality. It was a place we both wanted to go. We were really excited about it. We'd never been there, and we wanted to make sure it happened. So what did we do? We set aside $50 every single month and put it into our savings account. Non-negotiable, it went in there every month. When you think about it, $50 isn't a ton of money, but over the course of 5 years that we were saving, we were able to save bare minimum just $3,000 with that sinking fund plan. And that's not to say that we didn't put extra money in there. I know from our wedding, we put a bigger chunk of money in there when we got extra paychecks from our tax return. We work an extra job in the summer at a restaurant. We put some of our extra tip money in there. And over time, it really built up quite a bit so that when we got to the 4-year mark, we had $5,000 or $6,000 saved. We had our ability to just buy our plane tickets, to start booking our Airbnbs and hotels, and really we could spend money without having to worry about where it was coming from because we made the effort to save for it up front. Again, back to what are sinking funds and how you can apply sinking funds in your budget. Start thinking about what are some big goals that you have that you want to save money for down the road. Maybe you are saving to buy a house. Maybe you're saving to buy a new car, or you're going to go on a vacation. You want to build up your emergency fund. Someday you want to have a kid and you're like, holy cow, kids are expensive, which they are. Don't get me wrong, they are absolutely 100% expensive. For example, my daughter wants to wear her Elsa dress every day, and so we need to buy like 5 of them because it's getting ratty and torn up. Maybe you're saving money to renovate your house or do some repairs, or buy a second rental property. Whatever you're saving money for, a sinking fund is an awesome way to do that in small baby steps, so that it doesn't feel like this super overwhelming task of saving $10,000 for a down payment for a house, or $15,000 for a new car, or for us, we wanted to save $6,000 or $7,000 for our trip to Ireland. That's a big number when you look at it by itself, but over time, when you make consistent steps to it, using a sinking fund, it makes a huge difference and helps you get there a lot faster. And it also guarantees that you get to live out that goal. Okay, so before I move on, I just want to take a quick second. What are some big goals that you have? Let me know down in the comments, what are some big goals that you're saving for, and how sinking funds can help you get to that big goal. For us right now, we like to save for a bunch of different things at the same time, and our big goal that we're saving for is a trip to Germany. Next year, we want to take my father-in-law to Germany. He's 100% German, and we want to be able to pay for his flight and his hotel as much as we can to really treat him for his 60th birthday. We do have a long way to go, but we're making these small payments every single month, just $100 a month, and then bigger chunks of money when we can. Like stimulus check has been huge for us, and our tax return and extra paycheck months is all going to be putting a little bit extra towards Germany. But again, what are you saving for right now? What's a big savings goal that you have? Okay, so now that we have what sinking funds are out of the way, how do you set up your own sinking funds is the next question that I want to tackle. And so the best thing to do is just brainstorm ideas. You might have some things that are obvious off the top of your head, like buying a house or going on a vacation. But I think it's important to take a few minutes to actually write down goals, like write them on paper, type them on a spreadsheet or a Google Doc or a Microsoft Word document, wherever is a handy place that you're going to see them and know where they are. Write them down, start brainstorming. And then once you have your list, prioritize them. Like which ones are the most important for you to save for first. Like if you are really needing to replace a car might be the top priority that you're going to put more money to versus saving for Christmas, because Christmas is super stressful and it's just nice to have a little extra money there. So maybe a car is more important than a Christmas fund, and so you're going to put money towards your car sinking fund first, or just maybe more money towards it. So again, once you have that list of your savings goals for your sinking fund, it's important to prioritize them so that you know which ones are the most important, that if you can't fit them all into your budget, you know which one to start saving money towards right now. Okay, so now we're going to look at how do you use sinking funds in your budget. So first off, I just want to throw out there, if you don't have a budget right now is the perfect time to start a budget. I know that I've been able to spend so much more time with my budget, being really consistent with updating, because I'm sitting at home a lot. I'm not spending as much money. I'm not going out for random trips to the grocery store. I'm not spending a bunch of money on gas because I'm not driving anywhere. But right now is an awesome time to start a budget because you probably have a lot more downtime than you normally would. And a budget is just a really good way to track so you know how much money you can put towards your sinking funds every single month. Your budget can also help you prioritize your sinking funds to make sure you're actually contributing money towards those goals. Without a budget, it's hard to know how much money you have to put towards your goals. You're kind of just taking a guess and hoping you have money left at the end of the month, which sounds like a really stressful way to save money or to budget in general. So if you don't have a budget system that works for you right now or that you have set up, I do have a budget spreadsheet. It's an annual budget spreadsheet. It's over in my Etsy shop. I'm going to put a link down in the description so that if you want to get that, it's $5. And I think that's an amazing investment, a really great cheap option to start tracking your money so that things like sinking funds and savings goals that you have down the road are something that you can start implementing right now with your brand new budget. Looking at how to include your sinking funds within your budget, what you're going to want to do is create a budget category or a line item for every one of your sinking fund goals. So for us, we've got 5 sinking funds we're saving for right now. We've got our emergency fund, we've got our trip to Germany. We are just slowly building up like a house improvement fund or home improvement fund to update furniture as we need to build gardens and do just different things around our house that we want to improve and update. We're funneling money into our savings account for that every single month. So we have a line item for that. We also have a Christmas fund in our savings account that we are funneling money into every month because, like I said, Christmas is stressful, and I feel like we're always scrambling when it gets to Christmas time to be able to afford to give the gifts that we want to give and to travel and to do all the little things that add up. It's just nice to have a little bit extra set up ahead of time. So we have a sinking fund for that, and my favorite sinking fund is for my wife. My wife's love language is gifts. She loves receiving gifts. She loves giving gifts. She's actually right now in the other room using her super fancy Cricut machine to make postcards for her students. Since we're on quarantine and can't see them, we're teaching from a distance. She's going to send postcards to her students. Anyway, so my wife loves getting gifts. She loves giving gifts. With a budget, it's sometimes hard to include gifts in the budget and know how much you have to just splurge on that. So what I did is I made a sinking fund that I call wifey gifts that I just funnel money into every single month. I started doing this in secret, and now she knows that it's there, but it helps me for when I want to buy my wife a gift. I don't have to think about what else are we giving up in the budget to make this happen. It's just there, and I can splurge on my wife and just buy her the gift that I want to give her. Like last year for Mother's Day, I was able to buy her a pair of Dansko shoes that she loved, and it was a complete surprise to her. She had no idea I was doing that, and it was super fun. So we have a line item in our budget that I think I call random or other, just to kind of keep it more of a mystery and a secret. So you want to create a line item or a budget category for every one of your sinking funds to make sure that you're putting money to it every month, because as you're going through your budget, you can see, oh, emergency fund, oh, new car, oh, home improvement fund. I need to put some money in there, and you can have a predetermined amount of money that you want to put in there for the month. And so I'm just going to scroll down to how we do that. And it's pretty simple. We've got a savings section, and all of our sinking funds are qualify under savings. And so I've got a savings section of my budget here, and then our different goals listed out there. And I've actually hidden the gift section for Jenna on here too, so she doesn't even see it, but it still calculates. It's beautiful. I love it. So, but yeah, we have a spot in here where we know that we put that there every month. Also, I recommend that you prioritize your sinking funds over other parts of your budget. Big part of budgeting is setting priorities and based off the things that you value. So if you really value your sinking funds and the goals that you are saving up money for, it's really important to make sure that you prioritize those in your budget over things like eating out or shopping or buying clothes or those other things that might eat up money in your budget. Prioritize your sinking funds up front to know that you're going to reach your goals when you want to. The thing I recommend with sinking funds is to, if you're not sure how much money you can contribute every month towards your saving goals, start small. Start with maybe $25 a month, $50 a month, and then do that every single month consistently, especially if you've got a long time to save for something. Okay, so the next thing to think about is how are you going to track your sinking funds? I mentioned that we have 5 different sinking funds that we're saving for all at the same time, and they're all in one savings account. I think you could definitely do this by opening up multiple savings accounts, one for each savings goal. That also decreases the amount of interest you can make with your savings account, which is something I'm a big fan of. We have an online savings account with Ally Bank. We have a big chunk of our savings money in our emergency fund so that it earns a lot more interest than our 0.01% that we have at Wells Fargo. But a big thing is of how do you keep track of all these different goals within one bank account? And that was something that my wife is an absolute spreadsheet genius, and she made a spreadsheet to help us track our multiple savings goals all within one bank account. And it's filled with fancy formulas to automatically calculate how much we're contributing per month, adding up these different savings goals into one number so we know that we can match that with our savings account. And actually, a spreadsheet is my #1 way to recommend tracking your different savings goals and your sinking funds. I took this idea that my wife had set up for us and I enhanced it a little bit, and I actually have this in my Etsy shop. It's a sinking funds goal tracker, and you can track all of your sinking funds in one spreadsheet that calculates how much you are saving in total and for each goal. It's beautiful. I'll put a little link in the description so that you can go check that out and possibly buy that. It's $7, and it's an awesome investment if you don't have a great way to track your sinking funds. Okay, and this here is our actual sinking fund chart. We call it our savings log. That's just what we've kind of always called it. And you can see some of the different goals that we have too. We've got emergency fund, we've got house stuff, we're saving, like I said, for Germany, and we had cars on here because that was one of our big goals, and for a baby. You can see we don't have anything in there right now because those aren't goals that we're saving for at this moment. We've already done those. And we've got Christmas that we're working up towards, and then here's the secret, super secret wifey gift section. It's hidden here, and so I just keep that hidden, and she knows it's there, but when she doesn't do the budget a lot. I'm the one who handles the budget most of the time. So for Jenna, it's out of sight, out of mind. She doesn't really check that out. But this is the savings goal tracker that is in my Etsy shop. It is formatted just like this. It's got formulas in here, so if you type numbers in, it automatically calculates for you, and it's got a list of full instructions menu with video tutorials on how to get this set up and how to use a spreadsheet. It's awesome. It is $10. I thought it was $7, and it is $10, but I think it's a steal of value for the organization that it gives you when you're working on your sinking funds. So definitely head on over and check that out and get your sinking funds set up so that you can start saving for your goals consistently every month, and you can track multiple goals at the same time in one spot. It's beautiful. So another way you can track your sinking funds is just with pen and paper. If you've got a good system, a good organization system, maybe a notebook that you write down your bills and your budget in anyway, that can be a really great place to track your sinking funds so you know how much money you're contributing every month. If you're somebody who likes a bullet journal, that could be an awesome thing, a great creative outlet too. I know some people track savings goals or paying off debt with like a coloring page where you fill in a little part of the coloring page every time you put a chunk of money in. So you can have possibly maybe a bar graph, you could have multiple coloring pages for each goal. But I know a lot of people that love coloring pages for tracking goals, tracking savings, and tracking even paying off debt. All right, so that's my video on sinking funds explained. By now, I hope you have a good grasp on what a sinking fund is, how a sinking fund can help you reach your saving goals faster, and how you can use sinking funds within your budget to make sure you're prioritizing your goals and making sure you're actually reaching them instead of them being wishes that hopefully someday you'll get to do. All right, before we go, I just want to take a quick second to ask you to leave any comments and questions down below. I love responding to comments and questions. I love talking about budgets and sinking funds and all this stuff. So please leave some comments so I can help you get some resources, answer any of your questions. And also remember, if you aren't already subscribed, hit that subscribe button down below. Helps me keep this channel going and give you more great content about budgeting, saving money, and getting debt free. Remember to hit that that little bell so that you get notified every time I post a new video. I'll leave some links to my Etsy shop so you can go check out the annual budget spreadsheet, and you can check out the sinking funds goal tracker that's over there too. Just a couple bucks, great investment to help you get started on saving some money towards your sinking fund goals. You can also find me over at my blog, mrjamiegriffin.com. I'm on Instagram, and I have a Facebook group. It's a private group called the Get Debt Free Community. It's full of people that are looking to save money, learn how to budget, and do everything they can to get out of debt. So it's a great place to ask questions, get some help, and just some encouragement and support from people that might be in the exact same spot that you are. So check out those resources. I'm going to leave links down in the description. And until next time, happy budgeting.